about now, Jay. C-Dub on the beat. Back against the wall, CL20's knocking rated. IGI's tripping, validated, shoot ready. Brown incarceration, got my people living daily. Gang wars back to back till the hole is where they send me. Back.
Hey, yo, what's good with everybody, man? I hope everybody's having a productive day, feeling blessed, and like I always say, it's one life, one chance. We only got one chance to do this right. Let's get it done. So with that being said, one of my subscribers said he asked me a question a long time ago, and I might have overlooked it, or I just might have been caught up with life and my endeavors. So he got at me on Instagram. He's like, "Hey, bro, I asked this question about 4 or 5 months ago, bro. You didn't answer it, bro. And you said you answer all your subscribers' questions, so I'm gonna need that." I was like, "All right, bro, chill. I'm gonna answer it right now. Plus, I got some things to clear up." So with that being said, hit that subscribe button, hit that like. Always leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Check the links in the description for my Apple and Spotify music. Go ahead and run my streams up, and you can check out my playlist section on my YouTube channel and check out my music right there. Thank you guys for you guys' time. Most importantly, thank you guys for you guys' support. Now, I took that Mexican Mafia video down that I dropped yesterday morning on the basis that I read like 3 comments, and I'm pretty sure 2 comments were from my active dude, because he was like mad that I was speaking about active business. But he was like, "Hey, fool, you got your facts messed up, homie." Well, he got at me all crazy, and I'm like, "You're active, bro, so like, what does it matter?" You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, my job is to make sure I'm putting out relevant information, not false information. Even though the incident did occur, and even though I stand by the particular message that I had about Mexican Mafia being untouchable, not being untouchable, but I looked into it, man. His comment, it was only 3 comments in that comment section, but that was enough for me to raise question. So I went and did a little bit more digging. Actually got in touch with somebody that's on Salinas Valley, on the yard where the incident took place by the pull-up bar. He explained to me how it happened, why it happened, and he said, "Look, bro, the dude's name wasn't Creeper. He wasn't a Pili. This was a Sureño program. They have a mess out right here. The Pilis are on C yard. This happened on B yard. And yeah, it was over drugs." And I said, okay. Another individual who actually knew the individual who actually just got out of prison, who knew the individual, reached out to me and was like, "Hey, bro, his name's not Creeper. It's Corn Nuts. And he wasn't a Pili. He was just a big drug addict." And I was like, okay, cool. That was 2. And then when a CO got at me and was like, "Look, yeah, bro, he's not documented as one of those. Just wanted to let you know." I was like, that was more than enough information that I needed. That I got the information wrong from different sources. But that's the game I play when I reach out to certain individuals and they give me information. You know, there's nothing else to really discredit it, so I run with it. But thankfully that my subscribers always come through and corrected me on it. That's why I took that video down. There's no need to have it up. I'm not making money off it. Even if I was, I would still take it down. So I'm glad I was able to correct that, and I'm glad my subscribers, including the active one that couldn't stand that I was talking about it, brought it to my attention. That's why that video is taken down. So let's get into this one. He asked me this. When I was programming as an active norteño and I was seeing all the BS that was going on between carnales, such and such and such, what kept me holding on for so long? See, the difference was I wasn't on the yard when the carnales were on the yard displaying their scandalous ways and their scandalous tactics in front of me. They were all in Corcoran Shoe and Pelican Bay. I was just getting filters. I was getting 3-way contact letters. That's it. So it's kind of difficult to address that question on the basis that I wasn't on the yard with them. I was on the streets with them, but I wasn't on the yard with them. So these communications and this diffuse that we were having back then weren't as serious as they are now between the state and federal faction. There was, like I said, one filter. I received one filter, the realignment filter that I always talk about, addressing the federal and state faction. But we didn't know what was going on because of the lack of communication they had amongst each other at that time. We weren't abreast of that. And like I admitted in my videos a long time ago, right before everything took place with me when I got sent to the SNY, 2 things. One, my mentality is, when you're active, that's why I'm so sympathetic to the actors. You know, I convey my messages, I convey my speeches. You know, I'm trying to divert them from continuing this lifestyle just so they don't throw their life away, just so they don't get hurt. You know, if they want to remain active and on the streets and free, then so be it, man. More power to you. I wish you the best. I just don't want to see you in the system where these prison politics will get you caught up. That's where they really reside at. That's where these prison organizations are really strong, is in the penal system. But every individual that's active on the streets has the ability to say, "You know what, I'm cool. I ain't paying attention to that. I'm cool. I don't want to read that filter. Hey, I don't know nothing. Man, ignorance is bliss, man. I'm cool. I don't want to. I'm going to do my life. I'm going to live my life. I'm going to continue to prosper out here and raise my family and get these great jobs and That's it. Be a part of corporate America instead of being part of a prison gang. That's what I'm doing it for. I'm not asking the actives to go SNY, and I'm not asking the SNYs to go after actives because of everything they went through. I'm just shedding light to the overall aspects that are taking place within the penal system. So my mentality back then was like, bro, when you're active, you hold on to that pride. First of all, nobody wants to be on the SNY. The politics are far worse scandalous. They're just not taking people's win like that all the time, but lately they have been. Then that main line, and plus you don't know who to trust on the SNY because everybody becomes liars. Everybody practices deceit. Everybody used to be somebody on the main line. And then everybody's a dope fiend that came from the main line who don't want to admit they left the main line because they're dope fiends and then become dope fiends over here and put you in the most ugliest predicaments possible because of their bad habits. It's a cesspool of scandalous individuals that you have to filter out every day. Who do I trust? Do I trust him? Do I trust him? You got to trust somebody. And if you trust nobody and you're by yourself and isolated, somebody's going to test your buttons. Somebody's going to push them, bro. Somebody's really going to see what you're really about. And that's what the thing about the SNY is. Plus, you know, like I said, at the time, thought chomos and rapos were walking around freely, but in reality, I went to the level 4s. They're not walking to level 4s. They walk to level 3s, level 2s, level 1s, but on level 4s, they get the blues. So nobody wants to be that, bro. Look, I've already explained on this channel so many times what it's like to be a SNY person, a quote-unquote dropout, how I'm getting treated, how I had to confront situations, how I'm getting done dirty. Now that I'm being quote-unquote YouTube famous, which I still don't think I am, you can read the comments on every video, bro. There's a substantial amount of people that can't stand what I'm doing, hate what I'm doing, talk down on me, call me a YouTube snitch, a chismoso. You know, I got to take all that in while thinking about the bigger picture and thinking about the greater audience that actually wants me here doing this. So I held on to it because I grew up being a norteño all my life. That's all I knew from the age 12 until 2011. Till I was like, I think 27 or 28 when this all took place. That's all I knew. It's really brainwashing. And it's not because they put it in my head. It's because I looked up to it for so long, I couldn't see past the scandalous. I couldn't see past the BS. This identity was me. It became me. It's all I live for. I never had a job. I never really was in a relationship where I took it serious. I was always on drugs. I was always putting in work. I was always committing crime. I was fascinated with the overall lifestyle. And I was also fascinated with the politics because I became an individual of status, an individual of leadership. Power does get to your head, and the power got to my head right before everything fell for me. And when I fell from grace, I couldn't let that go. Once I started becoming scandalous, like the people that I was looking up to and following their examples, following their leads, bro, that stuff is addictive. That's why I understand why these prison organizations that have nothing left, that live in these societies, continue to do it. Because the money's good, the drugs are fun, the power's crazy, it's infectious. We can't let go of that lifestyle. So I couldn't let go of that lifestyle. Even though, like I said back then, the politics between the NF were small and severe to their own extent, it didn't affect the norteño struggle like it does today. There's a big difference. The NF on the yard now control everything. They control their minds. They control their identity. They own these individuals because they're the ones that created the norteño label, the norteño identity. These dudes became puppet masters to a bunch of little puppets that don't know what to do. Back then, the NF was in the shoe, so if I didn't want to listen to them, I didn't have to. I disagreed with them, and I continue to do my program. How are they going to reach me? They're going to send one soldier when I got the backing of my whole prison system to fabricate evidence like, man, he posing a threat, get rid of him. People are not going to question me. So during my time as a norteño, dealing with the NF are way different than the times that they are now. Back in my era, norteños became too powerful. Norteños became arrogant. Norteños became egotistical maniacs and violent individuals that were just power happy. So what you see the NF doing today on the yards is what Norteños Soldados, Norteños leadership was doing back then to Northerners. So to address it the way you asked me, I couldn't see past all the BS and the scandalous dealings that the NF were doing because I was doing the same thing that the NF is doing now to my own people. And it was getting done to each other. So in a hypocritical sense, yeah, I'm speaking against it now because I'm thankful that I reached this moment in my life where I'm safe, I'm free, I'm not surrounded by gates, I'm not surrounded by a prison cell, and I'm not surrounded by scandalous individuals. But in order for me to do these videos, I had to recognize that I was a dirtbag and a scandalous individual myself when I had Norteño leadership positions. I became the same people that I talk about now, and that's the hypocrisy that I gotta live with every day. The fact that I'm talking down on all these prison organizations, I'm talking about all these SNY organizations that I was also a part of, but at least I finally grown up, which is gonna be hard to accept for anybody who can't stand me on YouTube, who can't stand me speaking about prison gangs. I learned. And I had to look in that mirror and admit, bro, you were a dirtbag, you were scandalous, you were a drug addict, you were a dope fiend, you were power happy, you had zero guidance, you were not proper leadership, you had no idea what good leadership really is. Because I never benefited the people. All I did was benefit banks, benefit prison organizations, benefit yards, benefit a Norteño struggle, the idea of it. But I never benefited the people as much as I tried, because all the good that I would do for the gente, that one scandalous decision that I made, or that one scandalous politic that I did against another brother to get him stripped or get him knocked down, outweighs all the goodness that I've done, because people only remember the scandalous things that you've done, not the goodness. So that's what it was. I held on for so long because it's just something that you don't want to let go to. That's why I'm really sympathetic to all these actors who can care less about me. I understand why they don't want to let that grow. It's all we know. It's all we grew up with. The politics are fun, but they're scandalous. But when you get involved and you're winning on the politics side, oh, then you feel like a boss. But when you get done dirty, then you were like, man, how'd that happen? Well, man, people play political games different. You can't win them all. So to me personally, I was just holding on to an idea, an identity that came with power. And I knew that I can accumulate more power if I stood long enough. But that's all it is. It's all these labels and all these organizations, everybody just wants power. And there's a lot of power to be gained. You see how the prison system can control the streets, the influence it has on the streets. It's all political gain. Just like these voting systems out here between the demos and the Republicans, everybody wants that political seat to run it all, to be the man, to be the boss. That's all we did was create a sense of power amongst these prison organizations, and we all want to get to it. And I reached that point where that's all I thought about, that's all I wanted. So I became the same scandalous individual that I'm talking about here on YouTube for these youngsters not to follow, because I know firsthand what it's like to be scandalous. That's why I held on so long, because I just wasn't ready to let go. But I let go. I got put on the SNY side, tried to do it again, got done dirty, came out here, and I've probably been blessed with one of the most biggest blessings of my life. Even though it sounds dumb, I'm a YouTuber, an influential member. I'm gaining a big voice. I'm becoming a proper leader, even though people don't like it, even though people think I'm hypocritical. Trust me, I know the hypocrisy, but at least I acknowledge it, and I'm trying to correct the errors in my ways. I can't correct my past, but I can correct the mind frames that are out here that are still looking up to when I know it's not something to look up to. So I hope I answered your question. I know you asked me another one, but I get to it another day because I got to go to work in about an hour and a half. So with that being said, like I always say, it's one life, one chance. When they got one chance to do this right, let's get it done. Peace.